If you watch my last two videos closely, you will notice that the Tesla stock price fluctuation, the weekly high and weekly low, and also early week high and low, that's basically the Monday high and low, are consistent with what I predicted in the last two videos with good accuracy. So let's go to Tesla stock charts. So this is the Tesla weekly chart, and this is the Tesla daily chart. So if you select the weekly chart, that means each vertical line is the weekly real-time stock price, and this kind of trend lines are the generated, predicted target high and target low based on the prediction model. So if you select the daily chart, that means each vertical line is the 1 day's fluctuation, the real-time fluctuation of the Tesla stock price, and these trend lines are the predicted target high and target low. And in video 150 uploaded to Uping stock prediction YouTube channel, in that video 150 I uploaded on August 26th. That's basically the end of the week before this week. That's a prediction for the current week. So today is September 1st. So this week basically have 4 days of the last 4 days in August and the first day of September. So in video 150, I predicted that in early week of this week, end of August and the first day of September, in this week, early week, I mentioned it will likely to open high and we're likely to open at least maybe like around $243. So I mentioned it at least it will reach this $243, and then in this week it will still have the good increasing momentum and increasing trend. And I also mentioned the early week. The early week, the daily low is about $236. This is today's this Friday. Today's fluctuation. This is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. So you see on Monday it really opened high at this price, and this price exactly at $242.7. So it's just 30 cents lower than what I predicted at 243. So $0.3, that's a 30 cents difference from what I predicted. It's really have a good accuracy, and it opened at this price, and also it exceeded a little bit, but it's still close to this $243, and also it has a decreasing of the temporary drop, and the daily low, this price is around $235.7. $235.7, so it's the 30 cents different from what I predicted, around $236. So it's basically consistent with what I predicted for daily high and daily low, with very good accuracy, about 0.3 or $0.5 of difference. And I also mentioned in this week, and it at least it will increase to this price, because for the week before this week it closed here. So I mentioned it at least will increase to this price, to this middle yellow trend line for this weekly chart. This is at $248. So I mentioned it may still have good increasing momentum. It may exceed this yellow trend line, and I predicted the weekly high, it may go up to $263, and the actual weekly high for this week is $260.92. So it's basically $261. So it's just about $2 of difference. And I also mentioned in video 151, in that video, that's basically I took that video on Monday, exactly confirmed the Monday's fluctuation is basically consistent with what I predicted. So on Monday, I uploaded video 151. I reconfirmed that this week it may go up to $263, and the peak, the high price for this one is about $261. So it's about very close to what I predicted. It's just about $2 different. And I also mentioned in the letter for this week, and it will drop, have a decrease of the Tesla stock price. And on Friday, you see it opened here, opened exactly on this yellow trend line. So it tried to increase, but it didn't have a good increasing momentum, so it finally started to drop and dropped below this yellow trend line. So when it dropped below this kind of yellow trend line, that means it have a strong decreasing momentum. It will try to find the blue trend line, and even try to find the bottom blue trend line. And you see the whole day, Friday, it have a continuous drop, and it dropped from this yellow trend line to almost down to this bottom blue trend line. And because many people are afraid of that, it's oversold, and then the price dropped even a little bit below this bottom trend line. So the trend are still consistent with what I expected and with what I predicted. And even for the weekly low, I also mentioned in video 150, I mentioned the weekly low is about $236. The weekly low is basically happened on Monday. On Monday is this low. This price is about $235.6, so it's about 50 cents different from what I predicted. So it's still a very good prediction in the last two videos. So many people will be interested in what will happen for the next week's fluctuation of the Tesla stock price. So today is Friday, is the first day of September, and you see it's have a continuous drop, and it close a little bit below this bottom trend line. So below this bottom trend line, the closing price is below that. So that means it still have a good, still have a strong decreasing momentum, but it's since it's already dropped, temporarily dropped to the bottom blue trend line. So next week, early next week, it may still have a temporary rebound, and but it may still have a tendency to open low. So early next week, such as Monday, and it may open low around this $241, and but when it is open low, it may still have a tendency to have a temporary rebound. It may push it up, even up to this $248, $248.7. So in case if it's still have a very good increasing momentum, it may push it up to this middle yellow trend line at $252. But if it reaches to this, I think it still will drop the stock price, and even it may not exceed this yellow trend line. So the early next week fluctuation is around this $248 and $241. So this $241, if it can be supported, it may drop a little bit down below this blue trend line. So general fluctuation range is this $241 and $248, or may even up to $252. So the next week The fluctuation range for the next week is expected at least to cover this range, $241 to $253. So it may dropped below this $241 and dropped down to $232. So the typical fluctuation range for the next week is expected to between $232 and $253. So from this monthly chart, all these trend line, target high and target low, all these trend lines are already generated and will not be changed for the current month. So this price are basically the predicted target high and target low for the current month's fluctuation. And you see for the last month, I showed this monthly chart almost at the beginning of the last month of August, and it opened here, and also last month it continues to have a drop, and it dropped to almost the bottom blue trend line of the last month. So this month it opened here, and you see it closed. It's just 1 day elapsed for September. It closed here, and you see if I zoom this a little bit, you can see now it's trying to go up, but there's still a gap here. So this month, at least in maybe like 1 week or 2 weeks, at least it will drop down to this $238. It may happen in just 1 week, or maybe like about in a couple of weeks, and at least it will drop down to this $238, and if this can be supported, and also it is very likely for the whole month, at least it will try to drop it down to this $221, this $218, but this is the whole month's fluctuation, so it will take some time, and also during this kind of monthly fluctuation, it will still fluctuate up and down, so it may not directly immediately drop it down to this price, but it will trying to fluctuate between this range. So because this month is just 1 day's elapsed, so it dropped a little bit too fast for the first day, so many people may still take advantage of this price drop. So it may next week is still may have a good opportunity, good chance to fluctuate up, to go up. And so like in this weekly chart, you see this weekly chart, even though this already bended, that means it will start to have a strong decreasing momentum. It's not a directly increasing trend, so this slope are also tilted a little bit, so that means it will tend to have a decreasing momentum, but right now so far it's still in this yellow trend lines range. So typically if it does not drop it down below this bottom yellow trend line, so it may still have a little bit more increasing momentum, and tries to fluctuate in this range. So because many people are still want to push it up, so generally it will still have some kind of a fluctuation. So next week, so this is the predicted target high and target low for the next week's fluctuation. So you see next week this yellow trend line, this tips is about $241. So when it dropped down to around this $241, it may have still a good chance to bounce it back to $253, but it may have some kind of a struggling around this price range. So if it dropped below or opened below this $241, then it may still have a tendency to drop it down to this $232. So, but when it dropped down to this $232 in a short term, temporarily, it may still be a good chance to buy, and it may push up, fluctuate in this kind of a range, and then when it increased up to a yellow trend line, and then it may still have then it will have a tendency to drop it down to find another lower level of support to a lower level of blue trend line. So it's basically a kind of a zigzag up and down fluctuation. So if you are interested in this kind of analysis and evaluation, you are welcome to subscribe to Uping Stock Trend Prediction channel or watch more video in YouTube, or you can also check more tools in upingstock.com online store.